You are listening to Purdue's #1 sports talk radio show, Sports Night on WCCR, Extreme College Radio.
Sweep to the right-hand side, into the 15, breaks to the outside, off the block, goes to the 10, to the 5, and he scoots into the end zone for the touchdown.
Moore has it, head to Johnson, he'll dunk it! Play action pass, he rolls straight back, they've got a man wide open, it's Ross. He's at the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Boilermakers! Corner, Smith shoots another 3. It's intercepted. Ricardo Allen may score. He's at the 30. He's at the 40. One man to beat is Robinson. Robinson can't get him. He's at the 30, the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Ricardo Allen.
Good evening, sports fans, and welcome to Sports Night. I'm Michael Tainer.
And I'm Steve Pedrazza. Before we start off the show, I just got to point out one thing. You know, Mike, you could tell just every Monday if Mike has a good Sunday, if he's wearing a Chicago Bears jersey. Mike.
Yeah, that's right.
Briggs today?
Briggs today. Well, I always do the jersey, you know, when it's away, I wear my away Cutler jersey. When it's home, I wear my home Briggs.
I've never...
That's my scheme. I'm kind of superstitious, you know what I'm saying?
And when the Bears lose, it's
whatever. It's usually Purdue apparel.
It's usually Purdue apparel.
Yeah. That's how I roll. Sometimes Cubby stuff. I watch that when they're
that too. That was in the start of our season.
Yeah.
Anyways, we got a great show lined up for you guys tonight. We're gonna let you know what's happening in Purdue Athletics. We'll break down and analyze the Purdue football game against Notre Dame and preview the next game versus Minnesota. Mike and I will look at Week 4 in the NFL in our segment, The Red Zone. Finally, we will go through some sports news in Headline Crossfire. Mike, you ready to go?
As always. All right, let's start off with Back in Black this past week in Boilermaker Athletics.
The number 12 Purdue women's volleyball team played 2 matches in the past week. Last Wednesday, the Boilers took on Northwestern and defeated the Wildcats 3-1. Junior Ariel Turner led the way for Purdue with a 20-kill, 14-dig double-double. Senior Tiffany Fisher added 9 kills, while redshirt sophomore Katie Griffin tacked on 7 putaways. Then on Saturday, the ladies took on number 1 Illinois and lost 3-1. Announced just a few hours ago, junior Ariel Turner was named Big Ten Player of the Week. The women's volleyball team takes the court again on Friday at Nebraska.
The Purdue cross-country teams were both back in action on Saturday, and it was the men who claimed their 3rd straight meet victory after taking a top spot in the Greater Louisville Cross-Country Classic, while the women's cross-country team took 3rd. The Purdue cross-country teams will compete again this weekend at the IU East Invitational.
The Purdue women's soccer team played 2 games over the weekend. On Friday, the team took on Northwestern and defeated the Wildcats 2-1. Purdue's Kelly Phillips and Alex Hairston had 2 goals in the game. Then on Sunday, the Boilers took on Illinois and lost 1-0 on an Illinois penalty kick. The women's soccer team will take the field again on Sunday versus Ohio State at 1 p.m.
The Purdue women's softball team opened up their season this past weekend. A strong defensive effort in the late innings scoring gave the team a pair of fall wins over Heartland College and Lakeland College on Sunday. The Boilermakers topped the Hawks at 8-2 to start the day and then wrapped things up with a 6-2 win over the Lakers.
To all students who have VIP season tickets, Purdue men's basketball ticket pickup and paint crew sign-up started today. You can pick up your tickets by 5 o'clock Tuesday at the ticket office in Mackey Arena. All tickets are general admission this year. Also, it is $15 to sign up for paint crew. Mike, speaking of men's basketball, did you hear about Robbie Hummel?
Did not. What's going on?
Purdue senior Robbie Hummel was named in preseason top 50 watch list for the Wooden Award, which people who follow NCAA basketball would know that's for the National Player of the Year. So, nice preseason award for Robbie Hummel.
Yeah, I guess they're hoping for a comeback year from him.
The Purdue football team took on Notre Dame in the Battle of the Shillelagh Trophy. Notre Dame won in blowout fashion, 38-10. On the stat sheet, just looking over them. First downs, Purdue only had 17 first downs. Total offense, Purdue only had 276 yards. Do I even want to mention penalties? Purdue committed 13 penalties for a total of 118 yards. Purdue's offensive line gave up 3 sacks for a total loss of yards of 12. Individual stats in rushing, Akeem Hunt led the Boilermakers with 3 carries for 25 yards. That was mainly towards the last 3 minutes of the game. Majority of the game, the team was led by Ralph Bolden, who had 6 carries for just only 17 yards, followed by Tavian Edison, who had 2 carries for 14 yards. Passing, Robert Marv passed more, was in the game more. He completed 9 of 22 passes for just 91 yards. Was sacked once. Caleb Turbush was also in there, more so in the later stages of the game in the fourth quarter. He completed 10 of 15 passes, 1 interception, which was the first play from scrimmage. He had a total of 100 yards passing and 1 touchdown pass. Like I said, that came in the late stages of the game, in the final minute of the game, actually, and he was sacked twice. Receiving, and Tavian Edison led the team with 7 catches for 105 yards and 1 touchdown pass. Tackling, defense, Albert Evans led the team with 11 tackles. Second was Ricardo Allen with 10 tackles. 1.5 were for a loss and 1 forced fumble. On Notre Dame's side of the ball, they had a total offense of 551 yards, had completed 34 first downs. Again, it was kind of a sloppy game penalty-wise, discipline-wise. Notre Dame had 8 penalties for 85 yards. And like I said before, Notre Dame defensively had 3 sacks on the Boilermakers for a loss of 12 yards. Passing, Tommy Reese picked apart our secondary. Completed 24 40 passes for 254 yards and 3 touchdown passes. Receiving, Michael Floyd, no big surprise there. Had 12 catches for 137 yards and 1 touchdown pass, which was the third play of the game. And defensively, Manti Te'o led Notre Dame with 8 tackles, 2 sacks. First thoughts, Mike? You could start the vent.
Really, where do you start? I mean, this game was atrocious. Defense looked terrible, offense looked terrible, coaching looked worse. I mean, it was just a terrible game. Really, really disinteresting, especially for, you were talking about Danny Hope being big on his teams, preparing his teams after a bye week.
Right. Yeah.
Not so much so.
Myself in the foot with that comment.
Yeah, that kind of hurt. It just seemed like this team had no desire to play, had no desire to be there. I mean, it's a nationally televised game. I don't know. I mean, should there really be that much needed to pump shouldn't the players be pumped up just by playing this game?
You would think.
So, I mean, players showed no heart. Coaches look like they hadn't done anything prepping for 2 weeks.
I mean, you could
look like they might as well be eating donuts.
You could show all the intensity you want in warm-ups like they did.
Yeah.
But when it comes to game time play,
you got to play the game.
You got to play the game. And I think you can kind of hear our tone of voices talking about it, just starting to talk about it.
Well, it's just exhausting.
It's just same old, I guess you could say.
I mean, and eventually you just get sick of it. I mean, literally, the defense looked atrocious.
Right.
Defending the pass, defending the run, defending anything.
Right.
I mean, Ricardo Allen got hit. I mean, our cornerbacks got bullied. Everybody on the defense got bullied.
Yeah.
Their Notre Dame averaged as a whole for a team 7.2 yards per rushing attempt.
Right.
So basically, they're averaging a first down every 2 carries. And passing, like you said, Tommy Reese tore us apart. Didn't get sacked once, so he didn't get any pressure on anybody. I mean, he 3 touchdowns. He was just lighting it up.
Yeah.
It just defense looked terrible. Offense looked. I mean, When Ralph Bolden's only averaging 2.8 yards a carry.
Yeah.
I mean, not to say that he got a lot of attempts. I mean, He got the most attempts, and that was 6.
Yeah.
So we really weren't running the ball. Were you going to say something?
Let's stay with the offense for right now.
All right.
Play calling.
Atrocious. Yeah. Look at that.
Ditto.
Yeah, ditto.
Atrocious. Words can't even describe how bad it was. I mean, Danny Hope, from the first week, last week, 2 weeks ago in the bye week, he says he wanted to establish the run in this game. I don't think he even tried to establish the run. I looked back at the first half alone. First quarter alone, it was 15 passes to 5 rushes.
Yeah.
Overall, in the total first half, it was 36 to 12 pass to run ratio.
Yeah, that's not establishing the run at all.
establishing the run means you're running more than you're passing, at least at the start. I mean, the first two series, Purdue, first series, that pass that Turbush threw, I don't know if it was to O.J. Ross, it was just overthrown, or O.J. Ross didn't run his route correctly, or it was for Antavian Edison, who was out there as well. But Caleb Turbush threw a perfectly good pass to the secondary of Notre Dame.
Yeah, there's still no excuse.
There's still no excuse.
Regardless of whose fault it was, there's no excuse.
Right off the bat, we're on our heels.
Yeah.
And then defense comes out. 2 plays later, Michael Floyd gets like a 35-yard touchdown.
Yeah. Well, our defense could do. We'll talk about the defense later, but offensively, it was just sad. It was frustrating to watch.
I mean, there were times where when Robert Marv came in for his first series, the first 2 plays were passes. Now, granted, Danny Hope wanted to, make this team a running threat, bring in a new quarterback, maybe get him in rhythm. Maybe run the ball once or twice and get maybe a third down play action or something of that sort. No, he runs the first 2 plays were passes. One was a rollout to all the receivers were covered. He tried to squeeze one into Justin Siller there, incomplete pass. The next play was just a swing pass to the running back. I believe it was Akeem Shavers for a 1-yard loss. And then Gary Nord brings out this crazy formation. I don't even remember what the formation was. I don't even know who was at quarterback. I think it was Justin Siller.
It was Siller.
It was Siller.
I know, but you talking about that Wildcat play? Yeah, that was Siller.
Was that even a Wildcat? To be honest,
that's what they were. But I think that's all they could say it was.
To be honest, I was more like, what the heck are you doing this on 3rd and 10?
Yeah, 3rd and 10.
3rd and 11. And it was just a sweep offside left tackle for a gain of 0.
Yeah. Here's something I'll say about the coaching. I'll relate this to another team that I follow, with my heart, the Bears. Mike Martz in the NFL is known for being one of the, biggest passing coaches there ever was, right?
Right.
In the game against the Panthers, guess what? Jay Cutler threw 4 passes in the first half.
Yeah.
If you say you're going to make a dedication to the run, well, then you darn well better do it.
Yeah.
And there's absolutely no excuse. I don't know what these coaches do, and I'm not trying to throw too many people under the bus, but I think just as a fan, and as all fans should be, at some point you get sick and tired of, we're going to correct this. Do it.
Yeah.
Don't it's just a bunch of blatant lies.
Yeah.
Because there's no change. Yeah. There's absolutely no change. I don't know what this coaching staff does during the weeks where they're preparing for games, but I don't know. Right. I think one of us could coach this team better, quite frankly.
Now it goes down quarterback decision, Turbush or Marv. I thought Turbush, the offense really wasn't clicking in the first quarter. So, you know what? Go to Marv. He's showing that he could light this up. I thought play calling was questionable for both quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Even, I don't think it was either Turbush or Marv's fault for this game. I just think it was just horrific play calling, not establishing the run like you actually wanted to.
Yeah, quote unquote. Well, sometimes, like I said, it is up to, the quarterback's limited by his coaches.
Right.
If his coaches aren't giving him good plays, what's he supposed to do?
Right. And now, just before we went on the air, a couple hours before our show aired, Robert Marv started tweeting about Danny Hope's comments after the Notre Dame game. Here's what Danny Hope said after the game about Robert Marv, and I quote, "Robert had some great throws, but didn't manage the offense that well. He ad-libbed some and got outside of the system when he didn't have to. He missed some reps and meetings last week because he was sick. Okay, I'll give him that excuse. But if he could stay within the system, he could make a difference maker for us. Caleb manages the offense well, and Robert doesn't manage it as well." And that was Danny Hope after the game. Kind of to me, yes, throwing Marv under the bus a little bit, but I kind of see what he was saying when Marv, certain plays, there were times where Marv tried to act like Michael Vick or Drew Brees, trying to flush out of the pocket when he really didn't need to. And then actually started getting chased by, defensive linemen from Notre Dame, Notre Dame's linebackers, and, either had to throw it away or try to make a